What's going on, guys? It's Lowflord and welcome to a Grim video. What you are looking at on screen right now is a new game being worked on by the same developers behind Ghosts of Tabor. And the name of this game is Grim. What is Grim? Grim is a VR multiplayer survival experience where you must immerse yourself in harsh landscapes, where survival is not just a choice, but a grueling battle against nature and other desperate players. You must gather resources, craft and build your base to stay alive. So pretty much this game is going to be Rust, but in VR, which I am actually in full support of. Rust has had a huge player base ever since its early access release back in 2013, and it's still doing numbers now. So I can totally see the want for a game like this in VR. You're going to be able to build and fortify your own bases, hunt wildlife, explore points of interest that are scattered throughout the map to get resources and or kill other players. And we will be able to raid other player bases as well. And while I haven't played much Rust, I have played a lot of Scum, which is a much more hardcore version of Rust. So I'm really familiar with this type of survival genre. So I think gathering resources, building bases, and raiding bases is going to be an awesome experience in VR. And the base building so far looks pretty slick and kind of reminds me of the base building in the game The Forest. You can build whatever type of base you want, and if you have the materials, you can then upgrade the base from wood to something like metal so your base is a little bit more durable. And so far it's looking pretty damn good. There are firearms that we can wield and maybe even craft, and based on the video provided by ShortStackVR, big shout out to you my dude, and make sure to go check out his channel. The gunplay and the PvP looks like a ton of fun. Like, the player interaction looks exactly like Rust, which is hilarious. But what makes Grim different than a lot of other survival games is the radiation system. Now, I don't have full knowledge on the radiation system, but based off the footage that we are seeing right now, there's going to be radiation at those points of interest. And you need to watch your levels of radiation you take in because you will die from it. But since these points of interest do have radiation, I think this is where you're gonna be able to find a lot of high tier resources, loot, guns, stuff like that can actually help you venture throughout the world. And with radiation surrounding these POIs, you will need to bring some meds with you to heal yourself, as well as remove some radiation that you've taken in. So you can give yourself some more time to explore that POI, which I think is just an interesting mechanic. And I'm wondering, because of the radiation, if we're going to be getting some type of hazmat suit so we don't have to take the radiation medicine. But I don't know, I guess it's too early to tell. The size of the map is actually going to be pretty big, with Grim taking place across a 16 by 16 kilometer map, with a goal of up to 100 players on a single server. And that is going to be a technical feat for VR. I haven't really seen many VR games that can push those numbers on a single server, but the high player count servers are really what makes the game, right? Like, when I play a survival game on servers that are dead, the game starts to feel boring. Like, there's no risk when going out into the wild because you don't think you're going to be encountering any other players. So then it brings the thought of why you are even fortifying your base in the first place. If no one is going to raid you and you're spending all this time building this crazy base, then what is it really for? So with the size of the map and the projected player number they want to have, I think we will be seeing a lot of player interaction, which I think a survival game needs to survive. Now, the game is still in super early alpha at the moment, and quick note, all the footage you are seeing is from about 6 months to over a year ago, so I'm sure a lot more progress has been made to the game, and I'm sure it will look a lot better at release. And if you guys want to see more recent gameplay, then I'd highly suggest checking out ShortStackVR or SoulBC on YouTube for some gameplay. Originally, this game was being developed by Spoonfed, and Spoon has been working on it since before Ghosts of Tabor had its original release. But I'm assuming Waffle Studios had seen the progression that Spoon had made with Grim and decided to come on board to help develop the game and publish it as well. The CEO of Waffle Studios, Scott, has said many times that the team that will be working on Grim is going to be a completely different team that works on Ghosts of Tabor. Think of how Infinity Ward and Treyarch take turns developing a new Call of Duty. So we will not be seeing a decline in content over on Ghosts of Tabor. Like, they aren't taking devs from Tabor and throwing them into Grim, they have separate teams for that. Grim is set to release sometime in 2024 on PlayStation VR and PC VR, with Quest platforms getting a standalone version after release, but will not feature crossplay with PC VR and PlayStation VR. But that's all the information I have for you guys right now on Grim. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Grim. Does it interest you? Do you think Waffle Studios should just stick with Ghosts of Tabor? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for coming out to watch the video, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'm Loaf Lord, and stay toasty out there.